And now we have the first heat of round 2 getting underway. The heat has started. It's going to be Coco, the Hawaiian, up against Dimity Stoyle. This is a good battle. Both these surfers outside the top 10. Coco, though, she's shored up her place on the championship tour already via the QS. But if she makes the quarterfinals and Nikki Van Dyke falls short of the quarters, then Coco can move into that number 10 position. Dimity Stoyle, on the other hand, she hasn't requalified via the QS, and even if she wins this contest, she won't requalify for the CT by making the top 10. So really love Dimity's performance at Trestles this year. That was her best result this season, a semi-final finish. Other than that, she hasn't cracked the finals of any other CT event this year, so it has been a rough year for her, as we see Coco, this one ridden early on in the heat, Rosie.
Yeah, really important to get started early. Unfortunately, slipping off the nose of her board there, Coco. It's interesting, you take this little goat track down, you get the mud on your feet, you've really got to kind of wipe off your feet. There's a lot of kind of sliminess that you can get going down that trail.
So now that you've seen all the ladies in the water, who's your pick to win this thing?
Oh gosh, I can't say that yet. They're all doing really good. I mean, like you said, it's just round 1. And I'm just watching them and rooting for everyone. I was telling my dad I'm sad that people are getting eliminated in this round.
I know, this is always a tough round, and it's going to be hard for you to grapple with that, especially since you become friends with some of them. But, you know, that is the world we live in. We're going to send it back to you, Ronnie, because I hear there's action in the water.
You know, do a couple turns, get busy on it. As you can see, she puts in this effort. She goes for this wave, really scratches into it. So Dimity wanted this wave. And then as soon as she kind of got onto it, she just kicks out. It maybe would have been, you know, it does hit into that cave pretty fast, but maybe just peel off a couple turns and see how you go. Now Coco has priority.
Coco is going to drive off the bottom into this first section. Stylish arcing turn to get started. The wave's starting to flatten out, but she's going to stick with it. Grinds out a nice little carve. And just working this one over. Just keen to put some kind of points on the board.
One of the events that I'm pretty sure all of the ladies really favor. You really look forward to finishing off. This wave is such a treat as you see Coco paddling into this little nug, unwinds that patent of Coco, snaps straight into the next turn. I like the way she's linking her maneuvers together, keeping that board busy on the rail. Snaps it around again, and then really negotiating this kiki bowl section. Love the way she tucks that knee. Coco surfing with a lot of finesse.
I know it's kind of tricky, and especially here because the wave is not even breaking when there is not the swell direction. So you like surfing another spot, and you don't. It's kind of tricky to think really and see yourself at in the contest day. And but the easiest thing was that you're sure it's not breaking, so you're sure that the contest would be off, and you're not like in that balance. Like maybe yes, maybe not. So. Yeah, we just had 10 days in Maui to surf another spot, so it's pretty cool.
And we ended our last event in France, which is sort of home for you. How was it to spend some time at home? And obviously there's so much going on back there. Has that affected you, and how is sort of the morale back home?
Yeah, well, I'm from Reunion Island, so it's a bit like, it's kind of different. I think we don't feel the same way, but it happened like 2 days before I flew to Paris. So I kind of feel that all the town and everyone like kind of, I don't know. It's a weird feeling. It's really weird, and that's it. I don't know what to say. It's very sad.
Yeah.
As this heat starts to experience a bit of shift and a couple more waves coming through, Coco up once again, driving up into the lip, strong first turn. Always surfs right in the pocket. The most critical part of the wave comes through to the keiki bowl. Doesn't ride out that last turn though.
Tricky section on the end there to negotiate for Coco.
On her previous ride, and she only needs a 4.01 to jump into the lead, with the wave approaching the lineup. Looking like Dimity is going to swing. And the Queenslander drops to the bottom of this one, drives up into this first section. Bit wobbly on the bottom turn, and as a result slightly mistimed that first manoeuvre. She's trying to get back to the takeoff zone now to regain priority.
she's got nothing to lose. She's got to come out of this one and really make the most of this last opportunity.
Well, here goes Dimity now. Driving down the line. Don't forget, she's got 7 stitches in her big toe, right on the bottom. So every time she's pushing those bottom turns, she'll be experiencing some pain, but dealing with it pretty well there. She leaves Coco Ho out the back now with 8.5 minutes remaining. And the 24-year-old attacks that first section. And again climbs up into the lip. Just flowing down the line, wanting to complete this ride, and it was a clean finish. I think consistency is a bit of a difference between these two. I think Coco performs more consistently than Dimity. She can put near perfect scores on the board. So if Dimity is able to get a ride and her toes not affecting her too much and she can dig into some of those power turns, I think she can create a bit of a point of difference there.
Definitely, you watch as Coco just offsets that timing that you talk about by dropping straight down and getting critical on her first maneuver, and really is able to keep that timing and rhythm as it goes along. And we see Dimity taking off on this wave, looking for a bit of coverage there, and then I like the way that she swoops around, really holds that rail, holds that line, and then, you know, attacks that lip. So Dimity, you mentioned those 7 stitches in her toe, but also she was surfing last night, and it's interesting to me when there's so many people out in the water, but there's someone that kind of catches your attention. And Dimity was one of those people. When she took off on a wave, it was hard not for you to have the attention on her. As you see this replay, just able to hold that rail like I mentioned in that carving maneuver, and then hits it straight up. So keeping that rhythm going. But Dimity really, you know, she grabs your attention when she's on a wave. She's got a lot of speed on her side, and Coco, like you mentioned, that kind of timing that she just stays so compact.
The judges having a look at it. This is the judges' perspective of that exchange. She does get the opportunity to work with JS a little bit in his shaping bays, and more often than not she's riding his boards in competition. As we see her up once again, just has a quick look at that one.
She's also been favouring the DHDs a lot lately.
She's on a DHD at the moment.
Yeah, I've seen that kind of transition.
Let's check out the heat recap. It was a slow start, but then the set wave started to roll on through, and Coco Ho managed to get herself ahead of Dimity Stoyle.
Coco Ho fierce on this wave, just negotiating this inside section. A lot of steers, smashing it up into the lip. Beautiful exit there for Coco Ho. Dimity Stoyle, the injured soldier with the 7 stitches, still maintaining a lot of grace, looking for the barrel, hunting it down, throwing up buckets of spray.
And here is Coco once again. So 2 decent scores locked in for Coco, a 5.17. This was the 6.1. Love the finish on this ride. That super compact style, just jamming the lip. For the lead, Dimity Stoyle, she's after a 6.77 out there riding a Darren Hanley shape.
Awesome to watch her performance at lower trestles.
And a bit of an indication of how tough it is to break into the CT ranks for the women. Only 2 new faces will be joining the tour in 2016. Chelsea Tuak and Keely Andrew, who's surfing in this event, has an injury replacement. But it's just amazing to think that you, on the QS, as we see a beautiful right-hander reeling on through the bay here, and Coco takes off, drives off the bottom, glides through that first maneuver, speeds things up through the second carve, just bashes away at the lip now on the inside section, and really puts her board on rail, finishing with a floating re-entry on the inside, and a couple more solid hits. And Dimity out the back had a wave as well. But Coco really mixed things up then, Rosie. Took to the rail, attacked the lip.
Dimity unfortunately not able. That wave didn't give her much to work with, unfortunately closing out after the first turn. But let's just have a look. Dimity Stoyle paddles into this one. It looks like it's going to offer her so much. She goes up for that first move. Beautiful turn from Dimity. Cracks it up into the critical section again. Comes down. Unfortunately unable to get around that section. But Coco Ho glides into this one on her feet. You see the way that she comes around that section, cracks it up in that critical section, comes around again, winds it around. Coco Ho just, you know, doing the surfing that we're so used to seeing from her. Beautiful. Just another carving move there from Coco, and then a couple more hits on the inside. That was a beautiful wave. Coco Ho just surfed it so beautifully in.
Love the high line that she took through that last carving maneuver. Fins set free through the back of the wave, but that heat has come to a close. Coco, we're waiting on scores to drop for her. I think Dimity's going to get a pretty decent number 2. One of the bigger waves of that heat. She let go of 2 pretty solid turns.